Hello, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are watching me from in the world right now. Welcome to Totally English with Sylvia Vanessa. Totally English with Sylvia Vanessa. Yes, that's me. Thank you for joining me today. Okay, now today we are going to be working with minimal pairs. Say it with me. Minimal pairs. Now, minimal pairs are words that have one sound change. And the two sounds that we are going to be working with today are I and E. I and E. Can you say that with me? I, E. They are both vowels. One is a short vowel and one is a long vowel. So we have I, which is our short vowel, and we have E, which is our long vowel. Now the colons in the sound symbol tell us that it's a long sound. That enables us to identify when it's a short sound or a long sound. We have 5 long sounds, and they are E, say it with me, E, R, U, or, and they all have colons. Now with our two sounds today, as I said, one's a short, one's a long. And when we pronounce the I, we don't need to open our mouth too wide. But when we are pronouncing the E sound, it's almost like you're smiling, like you're going to say cheese to take photos. Let's get straight into our pronunciations and do pronounce after me. It's a very good pronunciation exercise because it will allow you to hear the difference and pronounce the differences very well. Now we have our E sound, and that sound can be represented by various graphemes. Remember, graphemes are letters. Okay, so let's start pronouncing. We'll start with our short I sound. Sit, seat, his, he's, ship, sheep, bin, bean. We're going to talk about some of the homophones in a few of these words that we will be pronouncing, but we'll do those towards the end. Fill, feel, hit, heat, fit, feet, itch, each, grin, green, ill, eel, still, steel, risen, reason, sin, seen, chip, cheap, tin, teen, pick, peak, sick, seek, chick, cheek, fist, feast, skim, scheme, sip, seep. Okay, wonderful. I'm sure you did absolutely great. Now, as promised, we're going to be looking at some of the homophones. Now, there were a few words that are homophones. So we're going to be looking at those. And the first word was bean. Bean as in B-E-A-N. Our sentence for that could be, I'm going to have green beans tonight for dinner. And then the other bean is B-E-E-N. I have been very busy lately. That's what we call a homophone. And homophones are words that are pronounced the same, but have a different meaning and a different spelling. Okay, so our next homophone is steal and steal. The first word is spelled as S-T-E-E-L. S-T-E-E-L. And that steel is a strong metal that is normally made with a mixture of iron and carbon. And our sentence for that could be, the doors are made of steel. The doors are made of steel. It can also mean to force or prepare yourself to do something, and maybe something that might be a little bit difficult. Our sentence for that could be, he steeled himself to face his boss. He steeled himself to face his boss. Okay, so let's go to the other still. S-T-E-A-L. S-T-E-A-L. That particular word, steal, can have two meanings. Steal as in you're going to take something that is not yours without obtaining the person's permission. And the other meaning is something that's of a very low price. Maybe you've been able to obtain it at a low price. We could say, the bed I bought was a steal. And then to take something without obtaining permission, do not think about stealing that pen. Or, you must not steal from school. You must not steal from your employer. So our next homophone is seen. So we have S-E-E-N and we have S-C-E-N-E. So seen is the past participle of see. Our sentence for that could be, have you seen my watch? Have you seen my keys? Unfortunately, that can be me sometimes, always asking, have you seen my keys? Have you seen my watch? Or you could say, have you seen that film? The other scene can have various meanings. It could mean the place of an incident. It could mean that something that you're viewing, a sequence of continuous events, or an expression of anger. So let's look at some sentences there. Paul made an absolute scene when he found out his younger sister had been bullied. So in that sentence, we're talking about an expression of anger. It took 5 retakes to perfect the scene. And there we are talking about a sequence of actions. The scene from the hilltop was amazing. And there we're talking about a view or a picture. And another one. Many scenes of the movie were filmed in Singapore. And again, there we're talking about sequence of continuous actions. Our next homophone is peak and peak. I like this one. So we have P-E-E-K, P-E-E-K. We could say peekaboo, peekaboo. Or we could say, take a peek. Or we could say, have a peek at my new shoes. And I'm sure from the sentences I've given, you have an idea of what the meaning is. It means to look at, to see, to view very quickly. And the other peak is P-E-A-K. Okay, that peak means the highest point, a hillside or a mountaintop, for instance. And our sentence for that could be, we've climbed to the peak of the mountain. We've climbed to the peak of the mountain. Well done. So I believe we've covered some of the homophones within our teaching today. So now what I'd love to do is just to talk about a few of the words and to give you some of their meanings. Skim, S-K-I-M. Now it could be that you're skimming over the book, means you're looking very quickly. Or it could be I'm going to skim the top of my milk. Sometimes if I heat my milk up too much for my cereal, it will end up having this thin layer of skin, as I call it, on top. So I will just normally get a spoon and just kind of skim it off. Now in business English, the word skim can also be used to mean stealing. The defendants were accused of skimming money from an account. Skim could also mean to move quickly, just above or on a surface. So we could talk about that in terms of water. I could say, I skimmed a pebble on the lake, or I skimmed a pebble on the river, which means it just kind of bounced, very quickly, just kind of skim it. Another word I wanted us to look at was sip. Sip. And when we're talking about the word sip, it means, taking something small, taking little bits of it. So, for instance, I could say, I sipped my Red Bush tea very slowly because it was hot. Or I could say, sip your coffee, it's quite hot. And sip in business English can actually have different meanings when it's abbreviated. Okay, another word I wanted to look at was seep. It means when something flows slowly probably out of something. And this word can be used in many ways, not just when we're talking about liquids. A way to use the word seep, we could say, the water seeped through the bathroom floor into the kitchen. Or we could say, the importance of the information finally seeped into my brain. I hope you have enjoyed today's bite-sized teaching on the minimal pairs I and E. And of course, I sneaked some homophones in there as well. Now, I always love to leave you with a quote. And my quote today comes from Benson Idahosa. And he said, when your language changes, your condition changes. And if we align that with our English learning skills, we can almost say that if we improve on our English, we will improve our lives. You're doing a great job. I'm here with you all the way. So let's keep at it. Now, if there is anything specifically that you would like me to teach, then no problem. Go to my website, send me an email or comment below, and I will most definitely get back to you and look into when we can fit that in. Now, if you do subscribe on my email, once again, you will be receiving regular teachings there also. Okay, well done for today. Lovely being with you. Thank you so much for watching. Take good care. Your cheerleader, Sylvia Vanessa.